Um, Hi guys. What I am going to be kind of explaining today is how the use of nonverbal communication is a very powerful way to communicate. All right, so there's five topics I'm going to. All right, but there's five topics I'm going to be going over. All right, but the first one, number one. As World War II, dictators were very successful at gaining and keeping the attention of large gatherings simply by standing silent before they actually made their speeches. They would actually keep their crowd actually on the edge of their seats. Now that is a great way to actually keep somebody, well, literally on the edge of the seats. Step number two here. So the explanation of nonverbal usage and hand gestures for a child before a child can understand verbal communication. Nonverbal usage is very important. As you hold a child, as you put a child to bed, as you rock them, you get them to sleep. And number three, visiting a country where you do not speak the language, you use the pointing and facial expression to communicate. That means you do not know the language. And two, what makes it very easy to actually to kind of make your point of what you really want. And number four is maintain a relationship that can be very difficult. There are actually very many ways so to convey some kind of emotion, good or bad. You can hide, or you can wait, and you can wonder. And number five is social media. It's very powerful. However, it lacks personality, traits, and calls of character. And next slide, please. Alright, so number one, methods of adding silence help to collect and maintain the crowd's attention. Can I have the next slide, please? Trying to communicate with a child, it's actually very difficult. Use of eyes, hand gestures, movement of body, physical pickup of a child, putting a child to sleep without use of words, simply holding the child. Next slide, please. So language barriers. I have so many areas where I do not know the language or slang. Not knowing how to communicate. Learning new ways and methods to enrich your communication. The smell of knowing. Where I was at the time. Simply smelling gets you further than frowns. Next slide, please. Nonverbal communication within a relationship. So ignoring the person via cell phone calling or texting. So eye-to-eye contact. Sleep patterns. Stop it showing signs of affection. Can I have the next slide, please? Alright, social media. Texting, Instagram, Facebook, email, etc., are very powerful resources. Use of social media disrupts the character of the person's feelings. Using social media to speak, quote unquote, to others. Social media communication lacks the powerful nonverbal facial displays such as furrowing and raising of eyebrows, smiling, frowning, and others. Next slide, please. Alright, so in conclusion, the purpose of this outline is to inform one, how nonverbal communication is useful and powerful. Use of body language with a large audience, the parent-child reaction without voice usage or nonverbal communication in a foreign country, and how social media limits our ability to portray our character and what's missing from verbal conversations. Point number 2. In order to understand the purpose of the outline, a summary of the 5 main points will be helpful. Communication is very important in our everyday lives. Knowing how correctly to communicate, you have to be busy in your everyday lives with this outline. And this is only just a demonstration. You should be able to successfully communicate anything you need and keep control of the conversation. And with that,